we are going live.
Yeah.
Just let it go. Yeah, it says we are going live. Just make sure we turn off the sound so we don't get feedback. Okay, brilliant. Okay, well, hello everybody. It's almost 2:30 and I have let you know that I was going to be going live with Teresa Palmer, who has recently finished working with me through the ReVITALise method, and Teresa's going to share her experience of the ReVITALise method and the results that she has achieved through it. So I'm not going to tell you too much about Teresa because she's going to explain it herself, but I'm just going to say that Teresa's is a busy lady who has a busy career. She works full-time, and she is going through the perimenopause. But I'm going to leave it and I'll leave it to Teresa to explain. So first of all, Teresa, welcome.
Thank you.
And let's just kick off by first of all starting with, what kind of challenges were you experiencing before you came to me?
Oh, well, quite a few different things that I didn't realise were all connected to my age and time of life. Kind of, I got a suspicion it was perimenopause, but I've gradually put on 3.5 stone in my 40s, and that was quite a big issue for me. Just seemed to gradually kind of creep on. And I was suffering a lot with migraines every month, really bad migraines, or if I was stressed, I'd get a really bad migraine. And it was every month, always around the time of my period, either starting or finishing.
Yeah.
And then, so I put up with that for about probably 3 or 4 years. And then in the last 12 months, my periods were getting worse and worse every month, very heavy, very painful. I was getting some very weird cramps and doubled up, and I went to the doctor and they found I'd got a fibroid, but it was basically, well, there's nothing much we can do. You know, they couldn't really give me any sort of help. So I thought, oh God, I'm on my own here. I've got to try and find a way to cope with this. And I was just really bloated, tired, no energy. And I just thought, well, this is, the doctor says to you, well, it's your age. So you think, well, I've just got to cope with it. And I've just got to manage. And it's just, you know, so those were the main areas for me. I just felt really kind of not myself anymore. I thought I want to be in my 30s again. And, you know, I've got all these problems now. So yeah, that was me before I met you. So yeah, it wasn't very nice.
I think that's a really key thing that you said. I just want to be myself again.
Yeah.
And I hear that so often. You know, I just want to get myself back. When women are going through this, they feel like they're losing their sense of self. Definitely. They don't recognise how they feel. They don't recognise themselves. And as your experience, it, you know, is, and unfortunately, a lot of women's, it is getting better, but a lot of doctors are still don't have the information or the tools to help. And so they're kind of, you are just left, you feel like you're left on your own because you don't know that there's any alternative to it.
Precisely. They gave me strong painkillers for the migraines, but they made me feel spaced out and weird. And
well, they don't work with hormonal migraines.
No, they might calm the migraine down when you've got it, but you can't avoid the migraine. And I couldn't go to work. I was taking those tablets. I couldn't drive. So I was stuck between a rock and a hard place with that. And with the period problems, it was basically, you know, they'd offer you other solutions like hormonal tablets or the coil and things like that, but I didn't fancy that. So it's like there's got to be a way of helping. I was thinking there's got to be a way of helping yourself naturally.
Yeah.
So that you know, you don't have to take tablets. I don't really like taking loads of different hormones and drugs. So yeah, it was difficult. So
Yeah.
But and I've kind of I've done all the dieting plans over the years. I've done so many. I'd got to the point where I hated the word diet. I just the thought of having to do another diet just made me feel like running to the hills.
Tell me a little bit about that. So
yeah,
I know you tried quite a few different things.
I think I've tried every mainstream one. I've done Weight Watchers, and when I was younger, they worked. You know, I've always been one for putting weight on and then losing it, and but then it gets harder as you get older. So I tried the Weight Watchers online because I hated going to these classes where you get weighed in and it's a bit embarrassing, and I don't like that kind of carry on. And then there was Slimming World, and I've done Cambridge. I was basically starving myself. It was horrible, but it lost weight drastically, but then I ended up with stomach ulcers after because I'm not blaming the diet completely, but it doesn't help starving yourself. And Dukan, low or no carb, paleo. I've tried everything. And as I got further along into my 40s, I just gave up because I thought they work a little bit and I might do a couple of weeks, and then I found I couldn't keep it going because it was so unsustainable to keep doing it every day, and I'd lose a bit of weight but it wouldn't really make that much difference, and I was thinking, well, it's not working, so I'd get disheartened and give up. And I just got to the point the last couple of years where I just thought, well, this is how I am. I've just got to accept it. I'm not going to lose weight. Just get on with it. Just, give up on that kind of thing, which is really depressing. So it was good to hear about what you were doing.
And that's really the point at which we came across each other, and you'd heard about the ReVITALise method. And I remember really clearly when we did our initial breakthrough call, and I remember you saying to me, I just feel like there's no hope, there's nothing else for me to try.
Yeah, I did.
And I explained to you that what I do isn't dieting. It's a funny word, isn't it, diet? Because diet, it's been associated with restriction, and actually that's not what it means.
Exactly.
But it has now been so associated with restriction that it's got negative connotations. But actually, diet is about what we eat, and my ethos is based on no restrictive dieting.
Yeah.
Because when you start taking big elements of food away out of your diet, that has knock-on effect and implications, and usually that leads to it can lead, especially when we're younger, it can lead to rapid weight loss, but also rapid weight gain and then some. And so of course my approach is hormone. It's looking at the hormones, all of the hormones, not just the female hormones, but all of the hormones. So tell me about, when we spoke, what were your hesitations? Did you have any hesitations about joining the program?
I can remember at first I wanted to do it, but there's that kind of niggling doubt that will it work for me was the biggest thing that came into my mind. It was like, but it might work for other ladies, but not for me, because I've tried everything. So how is this going to be any different? I've always kind of wanted to work with somebody one-to-one as a nutritionalist side of things. So I did quite like that idea, but it was, the main thing is I'll do anything if I know it'll work. And I just didn't believe I could do it and stick to it, because I've done things in the past and I've done it for, I think I said to you at the time, I've done it for 2 weeks and I've given up.
You did.
And
You did. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
just
remember.
gone back to eating rubbish again, because
Yeah.
it's like you're craving it, if anything. Whereas, yeah, that was the thing that worried me, that I'd invest in myself and then I wouldn't live up to what was expected. I wouldn't stick to it basically, and it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my main, that the cost of it wasn't really an issue, because that was like, it's worth it if it has a desired effect. And I have felt so rubbish, I was like, I need something. So yeah, it was just, would it work? That was the main thing for me. Yeah.
And that's not an uncommon reason. I think that it's people will invest in themselves if they believe that it will work, and but more importantly, that they will do it, they can stick to it.
That's
and because with weight, I mean, we'll get onto it, but it's not just about weight loss, because that's not what the program's about. But it's because a lot of women have tried so many different things, and weight is often the thing that that they want to deal with and they want to get a grip on, especially in perimenopause when it becomes more difficult. They've tried all these things, and like you, they've often failed. And that is not a nice feeling.
No.
You feel like you failed.
Well, yeah.
So then you're basically thinking, I don't want to fail again.
Yeah. Exactly. Beat yourself up again.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then let's fast forward into the program. So you joined, and you started working through the program. What's the first thing that you noticed about the program that helped you initially? What was the first thing you would say that sort of sticks in your mind?
Oh, well, I was tootling along, feeling a lot better, less bloated, all my digestion, because I've always suffered with quite poor digestion, so that seemed to be a lot better. And it was after about 4 weeks, and I didn't go anywhere. I was like, I'm not getting on the scales, I'm not touching the scales, I've hidden them. And I thought, I wonder if, because I could tell that I'd gone a few notches up on my belt, on my jeans, and my jeans felt a bit looser, and I didn't have the big, bloated belly. And I thought, I wonder if I've lost anything off my waist.
And of course we don't do scales, do we? So
no. So I thought, I'm not looking at the scales to weigh myself, because I thought, if I haven't lost anything, I'll be devastated. But I felt like I had. So I measured myself, because you measure yourself at the beginning, don't you? And I couldn't believe I'd lost 4.5 inches off my waist, and I think 2 or 3 inches off my hips. So that was after 4 weeks. And I just, like I say, my stomach was flatter. I just felt so much better. And I thought, wow, it is working. So I don't know. I didn't weigh myself. Still didn't weigh myself at that point, because I thought, I don't even want to go there. Because I know you can lose weight. You can lose inches rather than pounds, can't you? It's a better way to measure it. So yeah, that was like, wow, it is working then. It's not just I'm feeling less bloated. It is actually coming off. The weight's coming off without me feeling, like I'm really depriving myself at all. So it was amazing. I didn't feel at all like I was going without anything, just changing what I ate. So and listening to your advice to help my digestion and things like that. So yeah, that's stuck in my mind. I haven't had that for years, because in the old days, when you'd lose weight, you'd be watching it every week or every day.
So demotivating.
Oh, it drives you mad.
It's such a bad way to monitor progress.
Yeah.
The progress really has to come from how you feel, and the weight comes as part of it. But there's so much focus on what the scales say, and then with women going through perimenopause and post-menopause, it fluctuates, not because you've suddenly gained 2 pounds in fat, but because you might be holding water.
Yeah.
And that in itself, you know, that you don't know that. You're not,
Yeah.
you know, but the one thing that we do know is that when we measure or we use our clothes or we take photos, we can see the progress.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So apart from the weight loss, what else did you discover during the program? What other successes did you have?
I think it was probably about 6 weeks in, 8 weeks in, I realised I hadn't had migraines. So they just stopped, they've disappeared, and I haven't had one. Even now, I haven't had one for, it's at least 2 months, because it used to be each cycle. So it must be 3 months now. So that is a godsend that there's no more migraines. I can't believe. It was just one day I was thinking, oh crikey, I've not had a headache. I have little headaches, like normal headaches occasionally when I'm tired, but I don't get these full-blown migraines. So there's that, which is, and that is one of the main things that I wanted to solve. And I can't believe that it's down to what you're putting into your body, really. I mean, well, obviously it's affecting your hormones, so knock-on effect.
Yeah.
And my periods have been a lot lighter, and no pain. Just a little bit of normal cramps at the beginning, but it wasn't like the doubled up pain I had. And hardly noticed, you know, it sounds like too good to be true, but it is honestly just sailing through. Oh, right, that's that month's done, and then the next month was the same. It's like, it's incredible to know that your body's obviously happier and functioning better.
Yeah.
So such a relief not to have that, because I was dreading every month, like, oh God,
yeah,
you know, here we go again. And then you're out, you're fatigued, and you don't feel like doing anything, and you don't have to go out the house. That's
what's your energy like now?
Tons better, loads better. I've got loads more energy. I haven't got the brain fog anymore, and I can concentrate. You know, I'm a lot more productive at work, can think clearer, lots more energy, sleep great. It solves so many problems you don't realise.
Yeah.
And you're probably suffering with things that you don't need to. Yeah. And you think that it's just normal, like the bloating. My stomach's always been bloated, but now that you recommended like gluten and dairy, cutting them out, I can't have cow's milk now because I can really feel it. If I have it in a cup of tea, my stomach blows up. So it's just finding out with your guidance
that trigger you.
What's going on and what's not working. So amazing.
So what stands out for you that makes this program different from other things that you've done?
Well, it's aimed at women of my age, and it's based around feeling well and not about losing weight. So there isn't that close monitoring of losing a pound, counting calories, counting points.
We don't do the Weight Watchers. So much? In fact, we don't even discuss it, do we?
No, there's none of that. If anything, you kind of tell us to like not do that and just eat. And it's about, the thing I liked was that it's not about going without, it's about feeding your body correctly with the right food. So you never feel hungry, and it's lovely food. It's not like, you know, boring. It's all nice food that you enjoy, that fill you and make you feel better. But I think it's mainly that it's geared towards women of our age, and to help us with our hormones and to help our bodies function better. Rather than just losing a few pounds. It's about your whole well-being. And you look at stress with us, and you know, all sorts of things. So it's your whole kind of lifestyle, really. And I know some of these diets profess that that's what it's about, but it isn't. And this is just about your whole well-being, really, to feel well rather than skinny necessarily. I mean, I've still got to lose more weight, but I know that I've got it sussed now. You know, I know what works.
Know what you're doing.
Yeah. So I'm
Exactly.
going. Yeah.
And that's that was one of the biggest priorities for me when I created this, was that whatever the outcome needed to be, that this was long-term sustainable. This wasn't just achievable whilst you were doing it and then you've got no clue what you're doing afterwards.
Exactly.
This is about you. It's a transformational change. It's a transformational program, and that's the whole aim for it.
And it really is, because all of the kind of the recipes and the food, you know, how I've cut out certain things that don't agree with me. I don't want to go back to that, because I know if I even have a little bit of, say, the cow's milk, I feel it. So I'm kind of more in tune with what's going on with my body. And now that how I started out on this program, we've continued. We just eat like that normally, me and my husband.
And your husband's benefited as well.
Yeah, he's fine. He enjoys it. He's a runner, and it's made him fitter and faster. And he's kind of leaner. He's toned up because we used to eat loads of carbs, and it's obviously it's not good. So it's done him a lot of good. He still eats bread and things and different things to me, but it has done him a lot of good. So we both kind of follow it easily, and it's just a way of life now. And I never thought I'd be saying that, because I've never felt like that about an eating plan. So it's amazing. It's been easy to integrate it and change our ways.
So what would you say is your the result that you're most proud of so far?
I think it's when I lost the inches off my waist. I always think about that, because it's the most memorable wow moment. And that it's not.
I remember when you shared that. Yeah, you were.
Yeah, it's amazing. I couldn't believe it. And it wasn't just like 1 inch. It was like blooming heck, nearly 5 inches. And I've lost. I don't know if I said I've lost a stone. Overall, and I haven't weighed myself actually for a couple of weeks, so I don't know, that might be a bit more now. So I don't focus on that, and I just focus on what I feel. So the weight loss is, because that's one of my biggest issues, that I needed to lose weight for my health overall. So it's good to know that I can do it without starving myself and without being miserable. And I still have a glass of wine, and I still have a bit of chocolate, and I still have, you know, and there's no like counting calories, or I just could not do that again. Not for a pension. So so it's great. So it's amazing in such a short space of time as well, that it's kind of righted the migraines and all sorts. So it's brilliant.
Fabulous. So just finally, what's life like now? What's
well, I feel loads better. I feel more confident because I've gone down a dress size, and fantastic. So I feel like I'm getting the old me back a bit. I don't feel bloated and frumpy and tired and horrible. I'm out and about, do more exercise. I just have more energy, and it's just nice to know. I think it's peace of mind to know that what you're doing, you're not guessing, is this the right thing to eat? Is that? I know, because I've had your advice one-to-one and in the group. You've guided me along through the process. So I've learned what to do, what not to do. And I feel like I'm educated enough to go off on my own now and carry on. So it feels really positive that, you know, that's sort of solved now. And my health feels so much better for it. So really, really positive. So thank you.
Pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you and seeing the progression, and just delighted that, you know, you've found something that works for you after all this time. And also to, you know, I, as you know, because I've shared it publicly, and, you know, I share it. I'm 48, and I'm going through perimenopause. And the reason that I discovered I was in perimenopause was because I suddenly started getting these migraines.
Yeah.
About 4 or 5 years ago, and I was like, I didn't realize at the time, which is a bit ironic, but I didn't realize that that's what it was, because it was,
Yeah.
there was nothing else, there was no other change. My cycle was still regular, like clockwork, as it always had been.
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling it any different, you know, but for me, it was that was the point. Migraines, yeah.
I went to the doctor about the migraines.
Yeah.
And they just, you know, they haven't got time to look at why, have they? And they just kind of give you the tablets to help it when you get them.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know what you mean. That I was the same. It was like, it was building up on the symptoms and things.
Yeah.
And you just
got rid of them. That's, you know, that I think is massive, because I know how debilitating those migraines can be.
Yeah.
And then having them, I mean, I was having them twice a month, so midway through, and then at the end.
Yeah.
So, you know, every 2 weeks. And it wasn't just for a day, it was a good 48 hours, you know, that's like 4 days out of your out of 28. It's not good.
This is it. I can remember the worst one I had went on for 4 days, and I was trying to go to work and function, and you just, it took me about a week just to get over it. And you just think, it's just what I've got to put up with, but it isn't.
No.
And it's lovely to know that. Thank goodness I found, you know, a friend, you know, mentioned you to me, and I was dubious, but God, I'm so glad it came along and sorted all this out. Because I've read loads of books. I always read books, diet books, self-help books, and the difference with you was that you could look at in depth at what was going on with me from the very in-depth questionnaire that I filled in, and then it was targeted around me. Personalized, instead of picking out thinking, maybe that'll work for me, or maybe that'll work, and they try it and it doesn't. So it's forever going around in circles with things. So
I think that's part of the problem, is that there's so much information out there. And you read it and you're like, well, which is going to, because you can't try everything, what's going to work for me.
Exactly.
And it's that personalization where I can look at your personal situation, your history, your health history, and then pinpoint actually what's very likely to be going on.
Definitely. Like with my digestion, I mean, that was probably adding to the headaches, because my digestion was really weak. And that's all calmed down now and sorted, and I've got lots of information to help me. If I see like something flagging up again, I can kind of have a look at what's happening myself.
Exactly.
It's a very good education exercise. Along the way. Fascinating.
Well, that was another of the aims, was that I know that, you know, intelligent women, when they're given the information and the education, they will, if it makes sense, they'll do something about it. It's the lack of understanding in the first place that causes the problem.
Exactly.
There is none, or what is out there is confusing. So
definitely very confusing. And it's having the confidence. If you say this will work, follow it, stick to it, and you see the results. And it's not painful to do at all. I didn't find any of it hard. You don't feel like sacrificing.
No.
Especially when you start to feel better. And you think,
that gives you the momentum to keep going, doesn't it?
And there isn't that focus on weight loss. It's lovely. It's quite freeing, really.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Teresa.
You're very welcome.
That will have helped others to understand a little bit more about it.
I hope so.
So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
I know we'll be keeping in touch anyway, so I will see you soon.
Yes, definitely. I shall keep in touch.
Thank you. But for anybody who's watching or listening, if you've got questions, do pop them into the comments. and I will very happily answer them for you. But in the meantime, thanks, Teresa, and I will see you soon. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.